Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Sports. And the South Africans have cleaned up at the URC Awards with 9 out of 15 players in the URC Elite 15 coming from South Africa. Not all from South African teams, with Werner Kok representing South Africa whilst representing Ulster, but also lots of South Africans in and amongst the main winners, with the likes of Chris Smith finishing as the highest point scorer, with Quan Horn winning the award for the Ironman for basically playing the most minutes, as well as the top try scorer going to Evan Roos. So once again, South Africa really starting to show their value in the URC, and with two sides left in the last four, the only nation with two sides left in the semi-finals. Is this going to be an opportunity for us to try and create another all-South African franchise final? Maybe add another trophy to the South African URC mix if we go and see the Bulls and the Stormers get victories over this weekend. Even if they don't, I think the main thing is South Africa are really fully integrated into the URC. They're also full shareholders now, so they're going to get the financial benefit of it. But also, when it comes to the stats, when it comes to the competition, there is no doubt that there is big contributions coming from the South African sides, and that they are adding a lot of value. Before we get into it, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So your main winner for the URC Awards was Tom Bone, who was named the Next Gen Player of the Season after an incredible season at Cardiff. And I think that it's been one of the few shining lights, really, with regards to the Welsh rugby. It's the likes of Tom Bone. The couple are individuals who are really, really strong in some of the sides, despite the fact that the Welsh teams in general didn't have a particularly good showing. But I always think interesting and really cool, and I spoke about this in one of the videos recently. We talk about like your URC and domestic competition like legends, and they're not always necessarily your international players, because your international players don't play a lot of the rugby. And if you go look at the sort of the Dream 15, for example, a lot of the players in it aren't necessarily consistently picked for internationals, and as a result they get to play a lot more URC, and they kind of be able to sort of create their own legacy within the competition. So Evan Roos, for example, is a URC legend over the last 5 years. When you think about the number of tries he's scored, he's won the Player of the Season before. He's always featured really highly within the URC. Whilst he hasn't been able to translate that to more Springbok caps and to international success, in the URC level, he has been phenomenal. And it's really cool to sort of see these players being able to get recognized. So, for example, Chris Smith was the Gilbert Golden Boot with the most points across and all these awards are basically across the league stage, in inverted commas. They don't include the playoffs, because obviously not all the players will play, given the teams that go through and the teams that have not. But Chris Smith has been fantastic for the Lions. He's, Imorne Steyn region type of thing. Now, he doesn't fit the Bok mold in the current mix and the way he kind of plays. So as a result, he's not getting Springbok call-ups. He's not really even in alignment camps. But he's got the golden boot for playing week in, week out, being consistent and contributing a lot. You then got the tackle machine, which is Ben Carter from the Dragons. Ironman, Quan Horn. I'll tell you what, when you look at the Springbok selections, and in fact, in the midst of an injury crisis, one of the most reliable players. This is the second time he's actually won the award. And exceptional fitness being shown by Quan Horn. And hopefully this is going to be his year where he gets an opportunity in the box, because I think he's just been playing too good rugby to kind of be left out. Then you got the playmaker, which is Jack Walsh from Ospreys. As mentioned, the OFX top try scorer is Evan Roos, and Tom Bone with the Player of the Season. Then we look at the Elite 15, and this is the Elite 15, and as mentioned, a big South African contingent in the front row. Intuka Xunu, I think a lot of people are actually saying it when I asked the question, that this could be his breakout year, that this is going to, hopefully, if he can stay fit, going to be the year where he comes through, puts his hand up, and launches that international career. Because he's had caps, he's been in around box camps, but he's been injury prone. And he made the move to the Stormers last year, and I think it's paid absolute dividends. He's been consistent. He's been consistently one of their top players, and really rewarded the faith that the Stormers have shown. Jan Kobler as well, given the fact that Malcolm Marx is now potentially injured, will also, I think, get an extended run in the box squad. Thomas Clarkson coming through for Ireland as well. Been a big part of that Leinster success. Derek Murray, also a very talented player. Next to Kobus Visa, somebody who, again, with an injury crisis, with Lock, although Loot Diaga, Loot Diaga, and another lock supposed to be Peter Step the Toy, said to be fit for the internationals here. But Kobus Visa is somebody who will be trying to get more Bok opportunities. Ken Prendergast has been a very consistent performer for a long time for Connacht. And if you look at this Elite 15, you're obviously going to find players who aren't in some of the playoff teams or semi-final teams, for example. I mean, obviously Connacht was there last week, but it goes to show again that some of these players are playing week in, week out for their clubs and at a really high level. And Ken Prendergast, I think, is exactly that. Evan Nurse, the number 8 jersey. Everyone fainted the number 7 jersey. You know, rumors more that Rassie Rasmus was looking to use him as a number 4 for the Boks this year before that injury, but he's been fantastic for the Lions. Then Bro Sapir, probably, I'm surprised he wasn't up. I think he probably would have been a big contention for player of the season. Definitely the South African player of the season. Next, Fami Mazulu. I think it's a bit harsh on Chris Smith to put him ahead at number 10, given the fact that Chris Smith was the leading point scorer, but has had some very good moments in that Stormers jersey. I'm not entirely sure if I'd say he was the most consistent 10 across the entire tournament, but definitely the best 10 in the competition. I don't think there's any doubt about that as far as I'm concerned, and it's going to be a huge loss this weekend for the Stormers. You then got Stuart McCloskey and Stafford McDowell in the centre. McCloskey, he's becoming almost a drop ball for Ireland as well, and this is all coming through from his form in Ulster. Carl Rowe, the number 11 jersey, and then the two South Africans, Quan Horn and Werner Kok, who was dropped from Ulster in that Challenge Cup final quite controversially, but has been recognised as the number 14, which just shows you how good he has been for Ulster. So it's been a bit of a weird one. They hasn't kind of been rated higher, given the fact that when he's played, he's been full value for kind of the money and the investment, inverted commas, that they spent on him. So that is the Elite 15. What changes would you make? What do you make of the Elite 15? Which players are you surprised about? Which players would you like to have seen? And kind of what's your thoughts about another URC season in the bag for the South African teams and kind of where we are within the URC? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.